guys, welcome back to another episode of Singaporean Talks Money. So today I'll be sharing my portfolio review for Q1 2022. So wow, it's been a crazy few months of 2022. I'm feeling actually quite exhausted following the news and keeping up with the updates of the world. I would like to emphasize that I'm in a very privileged position to be talking about my finances and portfolio updates when people at the other side of the world are suffering and living in constant fear as their peaceful lives were robbed from them. Hoping we can all understand each other and help one another through these difficult times. If I were to read back from a few years' time, I hope the world would recover and that everyone would be safe and happy. Alright, so let's dive right into Q1 2022. I think in January and mid-February, it was devastating for my portfolio. Although things have picked up towards March, I think I have not gone through so much volatility in such a short period of time. So my portfolio didn't really have much growth with the monthly dollar cost averaging, as I put in a minimal amount monthly. But the recovery so far has been pretty great for the portfolio. You can also roughly gauge my portfolio value from my charts. And although not huge, but we can see quite a growth from 2021. I only started recording the value of my portfolio in mid-2021, so I can't see how it compares to 2021 March. However, if we move on towards the end of the year, I'll be able to get a comparison. So first, let's talk about my stocks portfolio. So there isn't much of a difference in my stock holdings compared to my end of year portfolio review, except that there is a slight increase in Tesla holdings and that I sold off most of my Singapore stocks. So when I mean slight increase in Tesla, it really is slight. I only just increased it by 2 shares as my monthly dollar cost average amount is small. So I think using Syfe Trade has helped me a lot as I can do fractional investing and just make sure that my few hundreds is getting invested monthly. So seeing Tesla's growth as the world starts to be aware that they do need to reduce their reliance on oil and gas, but of course in the short term it is still very much needed. So Tesla opened their Giga Berlin, and as we all know, Tesla has high demand in Europe. And Giga Berlin is also its first manufacturing location in Europe, and so far its most advanced, sustainable and efficient facility. So in recent quarters, Tesla has been exporting cars from China to customers in Europe. And China is a huge provider in terms of the exporting of cars. And right now we can see Shanghai being shut down and there might be some form of delays in the supply. So I think a huge news recently was announced that it will have a vote during this year's annual general meeting on whether the stockholders would like a stock split. I think it's a pretty cool decision, and it has been only a short while since its previous stock split in 2020. So the share price has gone above $1,000, and I think it's in a really great position right now as delivery numbers do look to be climbing as demand increases and new factories are available to meet the demand. So here's the stock portfolio proportion accordingly. Stocks are pretty standard for me, unlike cryptocurrencies where all the action is. And so for stocks, mostly I have them in Tesla and occasionally into ETFs. That's really all. Pretty boring, but happy to keep it that way, as cryptocurrencies do keep me busy with all the news and new protocols. Although mostly I'm just lurking on Twitter and reading up. So let's move on to the exciting part, which is my cryptocurrencies portfolio. For it, I have done a cleanup actually, and really focus a lot more on ETH and Luna. So the Terra ecosystem has been really interesting as I learned about arbitrage opportunities, delta neutral strategies, using Mirror, and just being able to utilize the Anchor borrowing platform and looping it to get more Luna. And it's pretty fun, I would say. So I was previously holding a lot of small positions, for example, FTM and Algorand. So I feel like FTM still has a lot of growth potential, considering its total value locked and its protocols being released. But I do want to instead concentrate my positions, and so I sold it off and focus mainly on ETH and Luna. So the recent run-up of Bitcoin and ETH has bumped up my portfolio value. I also deployed a small amount or substantial amount of my stablecoins to ETH when it was around 2,900 to 3,000. I will still continue to dollar cost average and might take profits along the way, depending on how it is. My portfolio value is not huge, so usually taking profits is the last thing on my mind. But for cryptocurrencies, considering how narrative move pretty fast, I think taking profits is also a good strategy. So here you can see my portfolio of my cryptocurrencies. So I know that in the crypto space, there are many opportunities to grow your money. And usually those who are looking for the next 10x do not buy the top 10 as their market cap is already of a certain size. And I don't think anyone is expecting BTC or ETH to 10x from here. But I know that there will need to be a certain amount of research, or you need to know where the momentum is, whether people are buying in to the altcoins that you want to initiate a position in. There are many great projects, but with nobody buying them, there is no price action. And to be honest, in the crypto space, everyone is just looking to multiply the money. So I'm okay to continue building on my ETH and Luna positions, as I went in both at a relatively lower price, although not as low as you think, but definitely lower than the price now. But of course, in crypto, the movement and narrative changes rapidly, and new things keep popping up. You can't be in everything unless you have huge capital on hand. So we will review again at the end of Q2 2022 on whether my structure of my portfolio has worked out for the better or worse. So let's talk about my plans moving forward. I haven't reached my goal of having 100,000 in my investment portfolio, but to be honest, I'm really close to it. If it continues being such a upward trend market for the rest of 2022, I'm confident that I'll be able to reach my target. Otherwise, moving forward, I'll continue my small amount of dollar cost averaging in, and I feel it takes time to see the results, but so far so good. Crosses finger. I'm also traveling overseas, and so I will not invest too aggressively, as I need to save a bit more for air tickets, accommodation, and overseas expenses will be high due to inflation. And to be honest, I'll be off for quite a long period of time, roughly half a month, which is considerably long. There are still a lot of unknown factors, for example, ART or PCR tests to ensure that I can fly. And I'm also not sure if the rules will change from here. So I'm staying both excited but cautious as well. How has your portfolio performed in Q1 2022? Do let me know in the comments below, and hope everyone will continue to have a great Q2 moving forward. Thank you.